And Tim has been my brother for 19 years. Has it been? Tim's 18 years since the very start of Vision Miami. And Tim has a service heart. He's always in service to people. And how I met him was at when Vision Miami, this organization I created, began to take off. It became very popular and grew really quick. And I used to have a notepad for people to sign in, where I would just write name, email, phone number, company, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 in my handwriting, which is just awful. And that was the sign-in sheet at the Vision Miami event. And all of a sudden, I got there one day. I came down. I was living at the hotel. I came down, and there's these really beautiful site with a logo and Vision Miami and a flame and actual black lines and spaces for people to write their. I'm like, who did this? Who did this? And it was like this guy right here. And I remember in the Beach A Hotel, I jumped on him. And I said, thank you. We're friends. What do you do? Who are you? And he and I have become brothers all these years since, just by being in service. So Tim, thank you for holding fort down in the green room today, and welcome.
Oh, I was having fun. You took me out of, I was surrounded with these powerful, beautiful women. So can I go back? I want to go back.
Well, we're gonna premiere your book in a little over an hour now. But what was it that you remember that, well, you were networking, you didn't network, you didn't like networking, and all of a sudden you're now the master networker. I mean, you're speaking on networking at conferences. What is it that got you out fully living your vision?
Well, so it was first understanding what networking was, and I had gone to the chamber stuff, and I think, we used to joke that I was a networking dropout, because it was just, it was so hard to really connect with people. But part of that I have to take on myself, because I wasn't living my vision. I wasn't living, a complete passion in something that I absolutely loved. I mean, I was doing something that I liked, and I was making a living at it, and I was good at it. And I still do it. I still have that as a background of doing design and marketing, and it's supporting what I'm doing and living my passion. But I think once you step into that and realize what your vision is, and going to your events, I realized I wasn't living my vision, and I was seeing these people just filled with passion and filled with love and filled for what they were doing. And I knew that was always lacking. And we always had those conversations, and you were always like, this isn't it, Tim. This isn't it. You're not there yet. You're not there yet. You haven't found it yet. And I tell you, when it hits you, and you realize it, and you know it. And
so when did it hit you? When did you know? Because it's been a process, and it's actually been a lifelong process.
It has, and I was thinking about that question because I've heard you ask other people, and it has been a slow unveiling. It's been like the layers of an onion. It's just been this slow process. And I was thinking about that, and if where I am now and the things that I want to accomplish had hit me all at one time, I would have just shriveled up and thought, that's just too big. There's no way that I could do that. What's happened now is all these different things have unveiled as I've gone, and it all is possible. And I live in that possibility. But to have been presented with all of that at one time, I think I really would have just said, no, I can't be responsible for that. So it started as one thing of just trying to help my CrossFit out, and I got certified as a CrossFit trainer. So I'm a marketing and branding guru, talking on networking and branding, and all of a sudden now, I'm starting to live this life and have this love of working out. And I've always worked out, and I've always done stuff, always battled the dad bod and like putting on weight and like trying to get that body back and my health back. But then I just felt that need to, like, being in service of, making that sheet for you. My CrossFit needed some trainers, and I went ahead and got certified. And from there, it all just kept opening up, and all these doors and all these opportunities and windows kept, unveiling themselves to me.
Okay. And became a reality. Speak it. What is it called? What is your brand? What is your company? What is your name? What is your vision? It's a reality.
So there's actually two. So the first vision, the first thing that was created was Dad Bod Warrior. And that came to me on an airplane. I was leaving a marketing conference, and I had done the CrossFit, and I actually had started getting more interested in nutrition. And so I was doing that, and on the plane, this voice came to me. It said, create something that you wish had been there when you needed it. And what I realized as I was going through a divorce, and I was now a single dad, that I was so thankful that I had understanding of nutrition, understanding of working out, understanding of these things, because that was such an integral part of me getting through the divorce and being able to work with my kids. So that was like what I started focusing on. And I realized my dad had really been a big part of that through my life. Like, he really had set me up to be interested in nutrition. And I had kind of scoffed at it when I was younger, but then over the years and up to now is my life. And so really loving that aspect. So that leads us into part two. Am I doing that now, or are we going to stay with Dad Bod Warrior?
You know what? No, we can bring someone else in, because it's a process of, it's more than a process. It's an evolution of a spirit,
Yeah.
of a soul, of a human being, of your emotions, of your life, of having to have growth, personal growth, accepting your greatness and your majesty. So yeah, many times we have these ideas, these visions, but there's a whole process for it to unfold into a reality that we're going to hear about it at 2:00 in its fullness, right? I think that.
Right. Yeah. And you're absolutely right. I mean, there's so many things that come to mind. It's, you don't know what you don't know. And the more you know, the more you don't know. So that's kind of like the whole unveiling process, where you get into it and you realize there's a whole new, like, all these windows and like I said, these doors keep opening up. And then it became a process of really trusting myself and realizing I was enough, that I had everything that I needed to move forward, and that I was helping people. And that, having gone through what I had gone through, that could be of some inspiration to someone else who was just starting that process and going through. And there's not a lot of help for men. There's not a lot of very specific men-oriented help areas out there. Very great, women have that down. We always joke about, there's a group, women have a group for everything, which is awesome. They can create that support for themselves, but men tend not to. And it's still a battle, because men are not used to that. But then trying to find something that's very specific to what is needed helps when someone's going, a guy's going through that there's something very specific to, that need that they're going through.
Conversation going. Can you stay a little bit longer, not go into the green room?
Yeah. Okay. I'll stay.
So let's stay with me, because, we don't want to admit we're not perfect, particularly, or we don't have it all together, particularly with women, because we think that's what they want us, that they want. Only he's got all the answers. He's got it. For me, one of the biggest issues was my worthiness of this vision. That I'm able to step into it and be worthy of my grand vision. And it was Essence of Being had a great impact on me, that I was able to speak that I am worthy of this grand vision I have. And I think that's something that you have evolved into also, that my goodness, you're changing men's lives. My life has been changed. And there's something about our worthiness to step into that.
Absolutely. And I think what works for you, what works for anyone that is in their, living their vision, is it coming from a center, like there's a center of purity to it. And like I do challenges with Dad Bod Warrior. I do challenges, and Johnny, you're in there with one now that we're doing, and I'm right in there with you. So if I'm telling you got to do 40 minutes of workout and you got to do 40 grams of carbs and you got to do all these things, it's like I get on there, dripping with sweat, saying I just finished this today. I didn't hit my workout, or I didn't get my carbs in right today. Like I'm in there with you, and it's being vulnerable. It's being open to that, and not being perfect, but having that purity of this is where I am, and like let's do this together. And I posted a shot the other day of like 3 guys or 4 guys, people pulling, bringing another person up onto the mountaintop. And I started doing Spartan races. It's an obstacle course race. They're a lot of fun, and I do it with a team. And the idea is that we all work together. And like, there's going to be one guy that's really slow. A lot of time, there's certain obstacles that I can get really well. And there's certain ones that I don't. And but there's going to be one of my buddies there with a hand, or, to pull me up, or someone behind me pushing me up to get me to that next level. And it's realizing, when you need that help, when to receive that help. When to receive
so I think it's a perfect segue. We're going to bring on the man who has brought epic dads to the world. Epic dads, the word we keep speaking, talking about, living. Epic dads.
Epic dads. I call him the ninja right here because they never see him coming.
Hello. Glad to be back.
What's up, brother?
Tim, we're gonna shoot this segment as if it's brand new.
Okay.
Tell us about your background and how you became the epic dads warrior that you are now.
So how much time do we have?
Just keep it in the segment.
You know what? Hey, as long as you're in the spirit, come on, man. This took you a lifetime. This epic.
Roll with it, brother.
If you will, we'll interrupt you. Wally will interrupt him if he gets boring. But go ahead.
I definitely will. I will.
Speak your vision. Speak your truth. Speak your words.
Definitely.
You're changing lives. Wait, he changed my life. Everyone out there, I didn't know I was addicted to sugar. I didn't know. Mostly through ice cream. I love vanilla ice cream. The whole thing of Breyers, the half-gallon, forget it. One movie, some popcorn, and a Breyers ice cream, vanilla, the whole thing.
You're good to go.
My whole life. And I didn't know the ups and downs of mood swings that sugar caused in my life, and the years of depressions, of eating, drinking too much, and not knowing that sugar in its many forms is a poison. And my life changed, Tim, because you stood with me to relieve my addiction and get off of sugar. So you've changed my life. You're an epic friend, an epic father, an epic businessman, an epic designer, and now you're the founder of Epic Dads. Speak.
Well, thank you. And it's interesting because if I was to pinpoint, exactly when all this happened, I mean, there's one incident, and what I realized is that incident was just like the door opening and awakening a lifetime of happenings. And so there was this moment on Facebook. I'm in these dad groups, and there was a moment where a dad was just telling this amazing story of taking his daughter on a trip. And he was your average guy, and not this like multi-billionaire millionaire guy. And he talked about taking his daughter on this amazing trip to Iceland to see the Northern Lights. And he's like, look, I'm just a regular guy, and she always wanted to see this. And I scrimped and I saved and I put this together, and we just went on this amazing trip. And he was talking about how he built these memories that they will both have for the rest of their lives. And she got to go through a Viking ship ruin, and they saw the Northern Lights. And I was just like, that's an epic adventure. And that is one epic dad. There it was.
Wow.
And
Wow.
to listen to the guy tell his story, he was just like, here's just something that I did. I'm not, he wasn't looking for accolades. He was inspiring, but he was just so excited about this adventure that he had with his daughter that he wanted to share it. So a lot of things came to me at that point, that dads don't take credit and don't get credit for a lot of the stuff that we do, and a lot of it is how we've been brought up. A lot of the social, these social constructs of where we're supposed to be and who we are. And, that's all breaking down, all of society around us, all of these things are breaking down. And we just do what we think we need to do. And we do it to the best that we possibly can. And, I know there's the outliers, but, every guy that I know is like, their family comes first, and how do they do it? And even when a family falls apart, they're devastated, they fall apart, they go into depression. Most of the guys that I speak with in these groups and hear about, the marriage falls apart, and they are just in devastation because they are, they think of themselves, and we still have this construct of being a provider, of wanting to take care of our families and protect. And then all of a sudden that's gone. And to see and hear these stories of dads doing just like amazing things really, really spoke to me. And, what we don't realize, and as, these years open up, what I didn't realize is that there's states where if you get divorced, the mom gets the kids. She gets child support, she gets the house, she gets alimony, she gets all, like, it's set up that the system is set up. And dads have to fight, spend every penny they have of their retirement, of savings, just getting the right to see their kids and be part of their kids' lives. And I see these stories every single day where they're just like, I just spent $80,000 in 5 years, and I finally have 50-50 custody of my son.
Wow.
Oh my God, like that, does that exist? Like I didn't know that existed. And I'm thankful that, one, I didn't have a divorce that was like that. And two, that I lived in a county. I don't know if the state is like this. It can even vary by county. My county is a 50-50. So you get divorced, it's automatic 50-50. Why is that not the norm? And so these things have started opening up, and where Epic Dad was created to be a motivator, an inspiration, a storytelling forum, it's now also going to have a level and a baseline of activism. So dads don't have to fight just to be able to see what should be their right. And that is basically where Epic Dad came from. About 3 weeks ago, I lost my mom, and she was 92. She's lived a great life, and age finally got her. And what I realized was that I had lost my biggest fan and my biggest cheerleader, and she had always seen me as the Epic Dad. And she would always say to me, oh, you do so much. And your dad never did all this stuff. Your dad never changed diapers and made dinner. And I remember my dad one time making supper. We were, at a doctor's office or something. And we came in late, and he got home, and he literally just took like 12 things out of the refrigerator, put them in a pot, and made this like big stew. It was amazing. It was really good. That's the only time my dad ever made dinner. Now, he did breakfast and he did other stuff, but that was not his forte.
Gotcha.
And she was always there as my advocate, and just letting me know and bringing me up. And that always gave me something to live into. And I am so much more of a person that rises up to that accolade or that that compliment. Like if you say, hey, you're such a great person, like that makes me want to be even greater that day. If I'm a great person, then I need to be great today. And we often just hear these stories of, horrible dads, of deadbeat dads,
Right.
of dads not paying the child support, things, not happening. And the idea with Epic Dad is just to highlight those amazing stories of dads just stepping up or just doing cool things or fun things. And it's basically going to be the chicken soup for the soul for dads. It's going to be now turned into a book, and there will be stories of, guys and families just having these epic and amazing journeys. So that's kind of where it has come from. I do nutrition and work with divorced and single and just dads in that realm, helping them understand nutrition in their bodies. But now it's going.
I want to interrupt.
Yeah.
It's already alive in the consciousness of, Wendy, when you did the interview with her, and she's talking about her son being an epic dad, right? And then another, I forget who it was, said, yes, and my son's an epic dad too. And my husband is an epic dad. And so it was very interesting how quickly women got behind the concept, that you are an epic dad, and that many epic dads don't even realize it. But I thought that was in the science of the evolution of a vision manifesting. It's alive. And the day that Wendy spoke about Corey, your vision was happening.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
And that's an element of branding. What they say with branding, like you only own your brand when it's here. As soon as you speak it, your brand becomes whatever the universe, hears it as and creates it. So I had always thought of this being like a support group for men. And what I realized that this is going to be a completely open group. So it's already, I started it last week. I gave Victor the URL. I don't know if it's going to come up, but it's a Facebook group for epic dads. And it's women telling their stories of dads that just brought them up. So when Wendy shared about her son being an epic dad, she shared this like tear-jerking, amazing story of a memory she had of her dad. And it was so touching. And that just that's like speaking that brand to her made me realize this is not for men. This is for women to share their stories, because men have a hard time of patting themselves on the back, of recognizing that they have stepped up. And I want the women to say, I've got this amazing guy that does this. I want daughters and sons to step up and say, my dad, did this this one thing has stayed with me my entire life. So those are the things that become the epic dad journey and the story, where anyone and everyone can be there sharing that. And as men read that, it gives them that inspiration. It gives them that roadmap of how to be an epic dad, because all of us have and are different dads than our dad was. Hopefully, well, usually. I mean,
absolutely.
My dad,
but here's the thing.
Yeah.
I was going to say something, Tim, before you went on. Basically, you know what? You know why guys don't like to share? Because we believe we're just doing what we're supposed to do. And it's epic. Maybe it is epic, but we just feel like, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm doing what I feel is the right thing. And so it's like giving ourselves a pat on the back. It's difficult because we just feel like we're fulfilling that prescribed role as a father. But when you realize on the grand scale of things, what's really happening out there, it is epic. And I really thank you for taking the time to really point it out, because there are a lot of guys who feel underappreciated. There are a lot of guys who feel like, I'm doing this, but it's like but they're in the mindset. We as men, we compartmentalize things, and we're thinking, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to take my kids here. I'm supposed to do this because I want to give them something maybe I didn't have growing up. It's like we switch to autopilot. Our mindset is set. We feel this is what I can tell you. I can tell you my perspective. I was blessed. I did have a father that was a great example. In many ways, and a mother was very supportive of that. So for me, what I may think is epic. You understand what I'm saying? I may not think it's epic. I think this is just what I'm supposed to do. So you've given us space and provided space for us as guys to applaud each other's efforts, to share our stories. And I really, really thank you for that.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it is exactly that. And there was a story that actually just came to mind. I had a home office, and actually Victor, who's in the background now as the genius behind everything that's happening today, was working with me. And fortunately I had a space and, had a separate office, but I always was at home. So my kids could come home and I was there. They could see me. They were sitting on my lap, and my son went over to his friend's house and he's like, "Oh, there's your mom. Where's your dad?" "Oh, he's at work." And like, my son literally starts walking around the house like, "Where?" He's like, "He drove to work." Like, "What do you mean he drove to work?" Like, my son at the age of like, I think he was like 8, had no concept of a dad driving off for an entire day and going to work. And like at that moment, I think he realized like, "Oh, this is kind of cool. My dad works at home. Like I see him all the time." And really set for me how like wonderful it was every day. See my kids come home, basically drop their clothes and jump into the pool. And like I could spend, half an hour, like, being with them as that day unrolled and came to a close. And just the look on his face, like he never realized that before. And I just was doing what I needed to do, and it wasn't a big deal. But those things are what stick and create those epic moments.
Okay, let's talk about another epic moment. So I'm seeing this is turning into a conversation of 3 men. And last week, Wally had a number of epic moments, but one of them was your son buying his first car. And that was an epic dad's moment. Share with the world with that. So now we got the conscious creator and the epic dad's creator, worlds combining here of motivation and inspiration and dreams and ideas. As you're writing your book, tell us about your son and this epic moment.
Well, let me tell you something.
Getting him his first car.
Yeah, it's much more than that. For those of you guys who know John Luke out there and know him, he is in the spectrum. He has Asperger's, and you know what? As parents, we always did the best we can to make him sure he's going to be prepared for life. And as people who have children on the spectrum, this is what we think about on a daily basis. So let me tell you about my son. Of course, my son, he decided one day, running back from middle school, he said, "I want to get a job." 14 years old. So he went to Publix every day, bugged the crap out of the people there every day. He's very persistent. I don't know where he gets that from. But for me, it was like, I'm thinking to myself, I never taught him work ethic. He said, "I want to go and I want to start saving for a car." He's 14 years old, thinking 2 years ahead. And he started working, it's part-time hours, and he finally saved up enough money. And can I tell you, it was such a moment in so many ways, and so many people applauded efforts. I put a little video up. He got well over 1,000 views in his videos, hundreds of hits from people who've known the story of the past. And that's why this is such an epic moment for him. So we go to pick out a car. We find it was an absolute junker. It was a beater. And he said, "Dad, I think you made a dumb mistake by not getting." I said, "What?" So I had to correct him as an epic father that I am. And so I told him, I said, "John Luke, just wait. Something better is going to come along." So my ex-wife and they got together, started looking, and they found the car. I remember when we went to get the vehicle, and he had his own money. He saved up. We put in some to help him out a little bit with insurance and stuff like that. But you should have seen the look on the kid's face when he got the car. It was priceless. And for me, as a father, we made a decision long because we want our kids to work for things. Since I always work for things. And when he took his own initiative and decided what he was going to do, not only did he accomplish it, he saw it from already achieved already. So when he got a car, you think he was surprised? No, he was. He's like, this was. But so for me, it really was a heart-touching moment for me. I had tears in my eyes. Maria had tears in her eyes. It was just one of those things that we said, man, he did it. He set a goal. No one told him to do it. He did it on his own. And to me, it's a very proud moment, an epic moment as a father to see these things happen. And he's like, in his persistence and his diligence in life to do the things that he wants to do, have the thing when he wants to have, and be who he's called to be in life. And of course, when you instill those principles, one thing I learned too, there's a guy, Dr. Bob Barnes, and I remember hearing the teaching from him one day. He said, you may not think your children will listen to you, Dad, but they're watching every little thing that you do, the good and the bad. And they're taking it all in. And I just remember all the principles that I share. Really, we do declarations of faith every day. Every day, every morning. We'd have Thankful Thursday. We have Manifestation Monday, drive him to school. And he manifested this vehicle. So it was more than just a kid buying his car. It was like an epic moment, seeing that the seeds that you planted, watch them germinate, watch them come into fruition.
That's amazing. Amazing. And what I didn't realize is that you had a son that was on the spectrum. And then through that conversation, there were all these stories of, you guys working with schools and the things that you had to do. And like you said, it's always your concern. I mean, we all think about our kids constantly, but when you have a
Right.
special needs child of any sort, I grew up with a sister that had special needs, and I saw
Right.
it with my parents. And I saw how it affected, the rest of the family on a daily basis. And to know that you guys had gone through those challenges and
Oh, yeah.
on a daily basis.
He's independent. John Luke is independent. I can tell you, he's always had this thing in him. And I tell you how far we went. We started a school. We started a school called Oakland Academy of Palm Beach. It's still around today. I stepped down because of political issues, but poured a lot of money. I would say God blessed me, and we poured a lot of money in behavioral modalities, starting a school, tutors, trainers, therapists, and he's changed so many people's lives. There are women out there right now who are therapists because we took high school kids, and actually give props to my ex-wife. She trained them to become therapists. Now they have a career working with children who are on the spectrum or special needs. But my son has evolved. He's going to be independent. He's going to be just fine. So it's part of our life. It's part of our life, and
Right.
that's an epic moment to see. Like I said, see all the you know what we had to go through, and to see it to come to reality is just a beautiful thing.
And you guys just did what you needed to do. You were just doing what you needed to do. You needed a school. The school wasn't providing, and you guys
exactly 4 families. We got together. We did that.
It wasn't like you're like, I'm going to be an amazing guy and I'm going to create a school. It's like, no, like, okay,
there was a need.
We need this. And yeah, that's
I
amazing.
have an epic moment to share. Epic Dad. Wally reminded me when you said that we children, I consider myself childlike, my thinking. I remember when I was a child and my father was in the kitchen with another father, and he used the N-word. The other gentleman used the N-word. And I remember my father standing up and saying that word is not spoken in this house. And he was ready to remove the man, that this was, because he was like, no, that word's not spoken. Right. And here I was just a child, and I remember that. That now here's a moment my father never knew about. We never discussed. He never. But I've never used that word in a house. I've never used that word to describe another human being. So here I'm just remembering, Tim, the ripple effect of being an epic dad, and that the kids are learning from you when you don't even know it. You're being epic and you don't even know it. Thank God, Ken Regan, my dad. What an epic moment that I just remembered.
Absolutely, that's amazing. Yeah, it's and I talked about that in Dad Bod Warrior, and just what we eat and the choices that we make, that your kids are always watching, and it goes down into everything, every word that you speak, every action that you take. And it can be daunting to think about that in some respects, but being your authentic and your best self helps create those moments, and being that influence that you want to have on your kids, because they are looking and they're watching. Mm-hmm. And you often hear, I see these things like, my 2-year-old just picked up the S word or the F word, and how do you not laugh, because they're using it correctly, but you don't want them to be using it like, and everyone's like, And I was like, yeah, I mean, they pick up everything. And
Yeah.
I remember at a very young age, my son picked up the S word from obviously it wasn't for me. And we had to correct it. Like it's sit, yourself right down there. Let's talk about this. And
Right.
Redirecting through life as you do make those mistakes and making sure that they're put on the right path. So that's an awesome story about your
100.
dad. Thanks, Johnny. So that's Epic Dad. What I would love to hear, and anyone listening, please go to the Epic Dad page. I think Victor's going to give the URL for that.
Yes.
It's a group. I also have Epic Dad Post, which is a Facebook page, but the group is more shareable, and anyone and everyone can become a member of that. And what I would love now is to start collecting stories of Epic Dad moments, and those will become part of the book. Like, it's not my book, it's just me. I'm creating the avenue for people to be able to share their stories and to inspire and motivate and be there for other dads. And so if you have a story, please share that and let it become a part of history.
I have a story that I want to share. That's not right now, but for the book, I have something that just popped in my head as you were speaking. So
you have a few stories. You're gonna have a few entries in the book. So don't worry. I'm saving. I'll save. We'll have the whole Wally chapter.
All right.
You're right. You have the Wally chapter, because
I like that.
The Wally chapter, of course. Please, come on. What comes out of his brain? Write it down. Because
absolutely.
Again,
You're going to be I've already got him booked on the podcast. The Epic Dad podcast is going to be coming up.
Okay.
So I'm starting that. There's going to be an Epic Dad YouTube channel. So this needs to be big. You. Awesome. And it's for the kids. It's for where we are right now, and
yes.
for families, for men, and knowing that we do make a difference, and stepping up and just doing what we do can actually make a big difference. So
yes, perfect.
So Victor, I'm getting signed. So Wendy is coming on. Wendy's going to be coming in. When she comes in, Victor, let me know into the green room. Also, Dr. Yelena is going to be coming on earlier, her scheduled time. She had a patient that she was longer with. We got this happening, guys.
Yes, we do. Absolutely.
So, the power of a vision in 30 days, Wally, from you and I sitting there, it's been longer now because of the we didn't do the last conference, but us sitting there on Las Olas, you committing to this vision to have this book done, right? What happens when we commit to a vision, it creates a wave of energy. And those that love us and are in our field of our whirlwind decide they want to be a part of it, or they don't. And I saw Tim be motivated that, my goodness, Wally decided tonight he's doing it. You guys posted the picture, and I see Tim's mind working.
There's Tim. They never see him coming.
Of course. And then you guys, Wendy's just still getting into the green room. I remember texting Wendy, "Oh, wow, I'm so excited. We got both Tim and Wally are premiering on Friday." This is just a couple of days ago. So when do you think your journal's going to be ready for sale? Oh, hoping. And she texted me back 10 minutes later, Friday. And there it was this morning. Because of that commitment you made to yourself, your vision, and everything that has come out of it, because you're living your book and you're speaking it, you're posting. That book is alive. It's out of you. It's touching all of us. Everybody is watching these two epic dads. Visions become alive, conscious creators, and now our sister premiered before you two. So that's the power of a vision and a collective energy.
It reminds me about something you told me back in 2014. The quote by Marianne Williamson about, the one that says by you, basically the essence of it, by you letting your light shine, you also give others permission to do the same. And I see that being impact. I never heard that quote before Johnny shared it with me. I share it with so many people since then, but it's been one of those things that's life changing. Who are you not to let your light shine? You're a child of God.
Yeah.
And this is what happens, you guys, as we do things that we're called to do, as we create and become who we're called to be, we empower others to do the same. And that's what's up. Beautiful.
Yeah. Well, and they say what you become the sum of the 5 people around you. And so if you've got people around you that are always aspiring and doing more and more and more, like that becomes your norm. And if you want to fly with the eagles, don't hang out with the chickens.
The chickens. I read that book, by the way.
So it's constantly putting yourself in that atmosphere and in that environment where people are going up. And there's Burge Smith Lyons always talks about this, the crab effect. And if you put a bunch of crabs in a bucket, one will finally climb on the others and get to the top. But what happens? The crabs will pull it back down into the bottom.
My father gave me that analogy so many times growing up. So many times.
Oh yeah. And so it's so important that you surround yourself with people that are not going to be pulling you back down. And so I posted the other day how exciting it was to be on a journey with all you guys, with the 3 people you see here, with Wendy and Victor's who's in the background, because we're all pushing and pulling each other up the mountain. And if someone's got a book, then hey, I'm going to do a book. If someone's going to do a podcast, I've got my podcast, and it takes us all to the next level. So it's exciting, and the journey continues.
Well, what it also does is it's generational, the truths, because as we talked about Bono earlier and his vision. It was greatly influenced by Nelson Mandela, who Marianne Williamson wrote that quote for, Wally. That quote was written for Nelson Mandela.
Exactly.
Who was greatly influenced by the vision of Martin Luther King, who was greatly influenced by the vision of Mahatma Gandhi.
Yes.
Who was greatly influenced by the vision of Leo Tolstoy. Leo Tolstoy wrote about the nonviolence and how it can be put into effect. And Leo Tolstoy got his vision from the teachings on the Sermon on the Mount from Jesus. So the power of generational visions of your book, Wally, of your dad, Epic Dads, Tim, of the Global Vision Conference, that people can live their visions and dreams. We could do something remarkable by the end of the decade. The effect that it has, not just in those around us now, like we've seen the 5 of us, but generational after generational, like the example I just gave.
That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Wonderful, Johnny.
Mm-hmm. So, all right. Our last role here is we have our 2 sisters are going to be coming in and out. Dr. Yelena and our sister Wendy's coming back on. And then we have G Money is on his way. And I'm sure you took care of that thing I asked you earlier, Wally. We are gonna treat him like $1 million, because can you imagine his memory of us being on his first Global Vision show ever, being around us and these people that are bringing it into reality. So I'm just honored that I'm introducing him to the 2 of you, and to Victor and to Wendy, and that his mom believes in us in this vehicle, that he's going to be my co-host for the last hour, which is coming up. So, all right. Now, I just got word that our sister Wendy Weiss is back and in the house. Welcome, Wendy. She's been holding the vision all day.
W squared, WW, come on.
WW set the intent for us. Wendy, we just debuted Tim's Epic Dads, and we talked about Corey, and we talked about you, and this has just been a love fest. And now we prepared.
Here she is.
Now she can come.
I was hustling. I was scrambling to get back. I had to be here. Oh gosh, just everything, Tim, that you were doing for men to really create a platform for men, for dads. I mean,
well, thank you. Well, and what I don't think you realize, I talked about it, and when you're in the green room, sometimes you can't hear what's going on, is that you were the inspiration for this not to just be a men's group. Like, I wanted it to be a men's group to inspire dads. And you made me realize that we need the moms and the daughters speaking this and having and sharing their stories of their epic husbands, of their epic dads. And so it is now a public Facebook group for anyone and everyone to share their stories. And the book will have your story of your dad. It will have your story of your viewing your son as an epic dad. It will have Wally's story. It will have Johnny's story. It will have everyone, those stories. And it does, this book isn't, this isn't my book. This is the world's book of, here's the road map of how to be an amazing epic dad. So beautiful. You were the inspiration to, like, wow, women are really into this. Like, and in the group that we have, that is mostly women in the mornings, that Wendy has created this amazing space in the morning. The women in there were like going crazy over it. I'm like, okay, I think I need to rethink this. So you were the catalyst for that. So just wanted you to know.
Oh, well, I am so honored. We all had fathers, and many of us have sons or brothers. It's really such an important conversation. And there is, a lot in regard to women's empowerment. I mean, men do the sports thing, and men do all these other things, So to come together, you see these mom groups, and they're really powerful and strong. And there's so much support as a community. So I love that you really have that platform for men and inviting in the women, because we rally behind our men, and that's what we want. We want to be better, just people and parents and role models.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, and part of what reinforced that is I'm in a dad's rights group. And again, I was in it thinking that it was a men's group. And I realized that most of the people in there were women, and they were helping their husbands who were divorced and like trying to get custody of their kids, or just being able to have visitation with their kids. And the women rallying in there and realizing and saying how warped the system was for women to automatically get their kids, and to make dads have to fight, and seeing their husbands, or just being able to give their ex-husband the right to see the kids, and like the court was saying no. And so again, that was just reinforcing that, like, this is a global, universal effort of sharing stories and inspiration.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, for sure.
Beautiful.
So go ahead, Wendy. We're so glad to have you back. What would you like to ask us? Wait, let's just stop this. Let's just hold the whole show. She's here, guys, right? And
absolutely.
She came back to make sure, running from doctor's appointment, wherever she had to be for her brother.
Doing her thing. Absolutely.
Doing her thing, her magical, all the time, all the way, reverse engineering, getting it done. Ari's interview, Val's interview. What magic! You got the momentum started today with us, and now you're back here for your brothers. Yes. And I just recognize that, because we are better with great women around us.
No question about it.
And
yes, we do.
I texted you. I said, the boys are about to be going on together. She says, I'm almost there.
I'm almost there. I was texting Victor going, okay, I I can come in from the car as I'm driving back. He's like, no, you got it. You'll make it. So yeah.
It's good. It's just, I'm showing what a team is. And we're a focused vision. We had this vision for today, and the vision by the end of the decade, it takes a community, it takes a team, and then it's fun. It's fun that we are doing something. In the next 2 hours, we're a little over 2 hours away. I think our last number was 27. We have 27 women enrolled in the vision. Wendy, and now that you're back, you'll keep track with the numbers. But just that we're setting the intent, we're doing good. The interviews have been so inspiring, and everyone coming in and out magically. It's been just extraordinary. So now the spotlight on these two powerful men and their premiere. How did it affect you knowing that they were going to be premiering today?
I just wanted to interject. This was the picture that I posted, and this is what
I
Wendy,
love it.
Wally, and Johnny and Victor have inspired, was like those moments of needing like that hand up, and this group is what has been there to do that. So I just wanted to interject that. Like the picture for me was like, I saw that picture, I'm like, and it even had the right number of people. I'm like, perfect. So
we got you, Wendy. We got you up here with us. We waited for you, and we're glad you are back here up on the mountaintop with us.
No, I want to say something about the power of intent too, because as I was like rebranding and all of that, like going more to my married name now, like really at this stage of life to find a love, and to get remarried at, how old was I when I got remarried? 58. So I'm 59. I have to think for a second, and at this stage of life. And, I was really thinking about, like, you think about, like, who are the demographic of who you work with. And I work with a lot of women, but I also work with amazing men. And I was very, very clear to really be surrounded by men that are heart-centered and visionary men. I was very, very clear about that picture. And lo and behold, look what happens. Whatever it is that we think and we focus on without having to know how, if we talked about that this morning, it happens. And then the actual components, like what is so important, like being an epic dad, being an epic role model as a man, and you, Johnny, and your nephews, these beautiful boys that that were in the global conference, vision conference, the last one, with their beautiful music talent. And then Wally, what he represents. I mean, he comes from like such a strong, powerful background of broadcasting and virtual events, like live events, and is a powerful, dynamic speaker, and then launching conscious creation, which is what we're all doing here together. And it just, and then the call to women, because the women are behind the scenes, and we're nurturers, but we're also now stepping into our power and stepping into the dynamics of what's been traditionally more seen as a man's role, more in their power, or more, forward, more bold. So, Tim, you share always your being authentic, and you bring the dynamics, you bring to women that you can fully be all that you are, and you being who you are, that Marianne Williamson, so popular, like when you shine your light, it gives permission for other people. So you represent that. And Wally, you represent that. And Johnny, you just explode with your enthusiasm and your steadfastness in your vision for the world's children. And I just think it's just beautiful. Synergy is what it is. It's synergy. And that's really what you're creating here. I'm just so honored to be part of it. And I feel and like to be with the three guys, you guys, what you're bringing to the table to a lot of people that are watching that are women.
And let me bring in the Tin Man, because we do have your Dorothy, and I'm definitely the wizard, and the Tin Man here is behind the screens with his big heart, Victor. What he has done for everyone, for all of us. I mean, for him to produce this production into the art and the graphics and the design, and each of your brands are alive now because of our Tin Man with the huge heart, Victor E. Choi. He's got 16 things going on. I can't get him to come around, and he's not even looking at me. He knows. Don't even look over at Johnny. But I'm just honoring him and recognizing he's one of the men that are supporting your vision and are on your team, Wendy. And we're all
big time.
Right.
He has got a heart of gold, and Tim, you've known him for all of you guys, and Wally, what he's created is just really
amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. It is God sent. Like the right people and right opportunities.
Yes.
And you don't even know how it's all going to happen, and it just sort of shows itself. It sort of just presents itself, and then you feel into it. Does it feel right? And then you trust yourself because you've spent enough time with yourself that you say, okay, listen, I don't get it always right. I'm going to make mistakes. However, I'm going to keep realigning with something bigger and greater. I'm just going to keep I'm going to pivot myself and put myself in the light and then follow the guidance.
You know, when I think about the timeline, because again, just in this discussion, my vision is to enroll people in this community, in this team, because these two didn't even know you, Wendy, 6 months ago. It was only 6 months. This whole movie, we got 3 movies. We got 3 conferences, 3 movies, morning human journaling, 3 books alive, 3 visions alive, all 6 months ago. You guys didn't even know each other.
It's happened in the midst of turbulence and uncertainty.
Yes.
It's been born out of this. And what we have done is come together with an open heart in love and possibilities. That's what we've come together. And you have led the way. I mean, these are your guys, and I mean, it's just really amazing how it's all happened. You cross people's path, but then there's just like something that just happens. You're like, and to keep showing up. I've seen you for 10 years, Johnny, always supporting everybody else's vision. And now holding the big vision, this big vision. It's like everything was like a practice ground.
Well, that
to this point.
That was the vision I got when I was in 20 years ago on Sanibel Island, when I was just holding space, what I was going to do next. I had just run a restaurant nightclub that had all kinds of fun. And I was like, okay, God, how am I going to make this vision of movies of popcorn a reality? I was on the beach on Sanibel, and it came to me, support others' visions. I had no idea what that meant, but that was the vision. My vision, every child on the planet, food and clothing, movies. How do I make that a reality? 20 years ago, that is where the vision came, support other people's visions. And that's when, how do I do that? What do it mean, support other people's visions? And I remembered all my really cool businessmen, entrepreneurs, friends of mine. They never liked going to business card exchanges. They never liked going to an empty business card exchange. And so I knew there was an opportunity there. I'd spent a lot of time in Paris, in the south of France. I knew salons, and I knew how to throw parties, which is great people. You bring great people together and the energy of a great party. And that's when I knew one person in Miami, only one person. And I called her from Sanibel Island. And I said, look, Jill, I have this vision. I want to start a new type of networking group. She screamed. And for the first 4 months of Vision Miami, I traveled back and forth every week. One, another. I met another one, then another one. And then I met you. I met Rachel. I met you. All by supporting each other's visions. And that is the essence of making your vision become a reality. You want love, give love. You want to discover your vision.
Yes.
Go support other people's visions, which leads us right into the conscious creator. I know he has something to add to that.
I was just going to say something. The whole theme is like Wendy said it. It's been said all day. Is that there are a lot of people out there who are trying to figure things out. Get out of your own way and set an intention, allow it to happen, because it may not even happen the way that you've allowed it. Like I said, I never knew I was going to meet Wendy this year, and how that all came together. We told the stories all day, and that's what I would encourage people. I would encourage you right now that no matter what you're going through or where you're going to, you just have to allow it to happen. And you may think right now, wait, my time has gone by, my window is gone. I want to tell you, it's time to wake up again. Wake up to the reality that your dream is possible. All things are possible. Wake up in reality. Like Wendy said, the right people, right opportunities, right things are happening in your life. And part of that is you being here right now, listening to us, because this was imagine years ago, right? But here we are right now today. And I just want to encourage you guys to just really get in touch with that. Because for me, I was in my way for years. I know that. But when I got away, the vision is still alive. And that's what's up.
I just realized what we have here. You know what today feels like? It's a vision-a-thon. Is that even a word, a vision-a-thon? Like people in the old days, they had a telethon and this is a vision-a-thon. We're speaking, talking, dreaming visions. I am in the middle because I am tired. I am tired, but I still have the energy. This thing keeps circling. What is this? What are we doing here? And it's like, this is a vision-a-thon. We just keep adding and circling, and someone else comes in with the vision and we tell a story, and it's rooted in love, and it's rooted in relationships and power and love. But we got to call Dave Loda, the intellectual property attorney. I know you're watching. Go ahead, trademark it for me, please. I will get you a check on Monday. Trademark that vision-a-thon. TM, Global Vision Conference, TM, Movies and Popcorn, Conscious Creator.
Wait, if you're watching.
What's that?
Make sure we have to get him on the speed dial and let him know right now.
That's all right. I see what you're saying. So how cool is that when we're describing what is this that we have created? This came out of, we can't meet next year we can't plan an event in 2021 because we don't know. This Vision-thon thing came out of a creation of all of us. It's alive. It's happening. So, I could not be happier.
Well, also think about, Wendy alluded to how the pandemic has, brought us together. And
what did you say? The what?
The pandemic.
You mean the plandemic? Okay, that's all. Go ahead. Okay, good.
And if that had not happened, like the virtual one, like what we're doing now virtually, wouldn't have happened because you kept wanting to do the in-person ones, Johnny. And
yes,
to put those together, the financial, commitment was huge. The logistics were huge. And now we're on our third one. And this created the opportunity for this to happen at this level. And now we can sit here and we've got people all across the world. We've had singers in Denmark and singers in Colorado and people from all over the world listening and being part of it that would not have been able to be a part of it before. So that's, that's the amazingness that can come out of, and the opportunity that can come out of any situation. And Wendy has been in our morning meditations, it has really brought that home for me.
Man, yes.
That this is just an opportunity. We can look at things, and that's always been huge for me, is we always have a choice of how we can look at something. And it can be a complete tragedy, or it can be just the amazing opportunity,
blessing.
Right in blessing in front of us. And it's just a matter of your frame of mind and how you look at it. So, so thank goodness we've had this, being forced now to be on all day on our vision-a-thon. So it could happen, and we could do this for the world.
Now I want to say thank you for Wendy for providing us men the Daily for Humanity. I told you, it's a game changer for me. So if you're out there watching right now, Daily for Humanity is powerful. People of like mind connecting. We're not alone, because I was isolated. I would do my own practice. I was alone, but when I got into this group, things started exponentially happening to have that format, and allowing space for 3 of us guys to be a part of this, phenomenal. We love you guys. Love you. Amazing. And a lot of things birth.
And thank you for anybody who's watching, you can join us anytime. I mean, it is a global group, so you can come be part of it at any time. It's going to keep going strong. We were every day, 7 days a week, and we're not, because people are back to work now. So it's either 1 to 3 days a week, but you certainly can join in with us. And everybody, it's the collective of everybody's energy together.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so team, I'm talking to my team now. Here's what we have for the next 2 hours. Wally, we're gonna move you back a little bit, okay, for your premiere of your book. Is that okay?
Yes. That's cool. Gives me time to grab some lunch and breakfast. It gives me time to get some food to eat.
You're not going for lunch.
Oh, yes, I am.
What are you kidding me?
I'm going to go to the break room. I'm going to go back, grab some of the break room for sure.
Okay. Yes, in the break room. Excellent. Okay, hilarious. We're moving it because Dr. Yelena had patients that shifted. She was going to be on at 4. You were going to be on at 3. So we shifted our engineer, director. It's all love. It all works. And then we're going to make our engineer, he also is going to make my popcorn so that my co-host has fresh, hot popcorn. The movie, Tim, this is not the good, healthy kind, but it tastes like in the movie theater. So that's what I got. We have to come up with our own brand. Wendy, talk to that wonderful husband of yours. Talk to Harry. I can tell he's got a business mind. And you know what? We've stopped and honored Daniel and Corey. We just thank Harry for who he is. I got to start the year off with him at your event at the Sacred Space. I got to sit in there. What a great man, right? And I remember telling him, we're glad she found you because we look out for her and you are great. And he's like, yeah. So what a great man. We're just so grateful that you're with us every morning. You do everything that you do. So I just want to take that what a great man Harry is, and to support and stand with you the way he does.
Thank you.
But yeah, put him on that popcorn, our own brand of movies and popcorn, Johnny's Popcorn. So I don't have to go make Pop Secret big anymore. All right, so I'm getting a sign. We have in that. Okay, they're getting ready. Tim, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I think we have your where people can get you, your site.
Yeah. Does Victor have that to pop up?
His fingers are moving.
He may be, and we just don't know what he's doing until it pops up 10 seconds later on the other screen. Yeah. So the best place, you can always go to the site dadbodwarrior.com. And I would be happy to, I do a free health history with anybody and everybody that wants one. So I can provide a link for that. And you can reach me at tim@dadbodwarrior.com. So feel to connect with me there. Epic Dad is new, so I am rolling out the website, and the Facebook group does exist, and it's all caps. There are some other Epic Dad groups, so just look for the one that's all caps. And if you can't find it, just let me know. Yeah, there's the screen is up now, I see. So yeah, you can contact me, and I can definitely get you connected, and my phone number is there as well. So yeah, love to. Please share your stories of your epic dads. You can do that in the Facebook group, and I will be picking some amazing ones to be part of the book. So if you want to create a situation where your dad can be memorialized forever in Epic Dad, please let me know, and it'll be part of it. And I'm thinking that there's going to be like a whole series. So next will be Epic Moms.